Hello everybody and welcome to Hordes of Hunger. This is an upcoming 3D hack and slash roguelike game. This is a demo version that I'm playing on. The game is slated to release in 2024 in sometime. This is also sponsored content, so thank you to Hordes of Hunger for sponsoring this. If this looks interesting, you can go ahead and wishlist it. Link in the pinned comment and the description below. That being said, let's actually get to the gameplay. So this is a roguelite game, I guess is the best way to describe it. So think of the Vampire Survivors, the Survivors-like games as we call them, that are coming out nowadays. You have a facet of permanent progression here. So you get like, movement speed, dash recovery, elemental damage, posture, physical damage, etc. So your typical, meta progression inside of that, where it gets, increasingly more expensive to unlock and level up new things as you progress. Then over here we have an anvil, which you can craft different weapons on. So far, I believe these are the only two weapons in the demo, the sword and the hammer. They don't have two different of playstyles, quite frankly, so I'll stay with the hammer for now. You also have some special attacks. I don't think you can get any new special attacks in the demo. And then you also have some treasure keys. And then there's also your healing items, your rations, as they're called in this game. Enough yapping, though. Let's get to the actual gameplay. Let's do the first level. So the keep, there are two levels in the demo, the main square and the keep. They're very similar. You have some different enemy variety on the two maps, and the missions that you accomplish throughout the run are also a little bit different. So the gameplay, first thing I recommend you do, by the way, zoom out the camera. You start like this. That is way too, so zoom out the camera. You don't have to go like full top-down isometric, but you definitely don't want to be super zoomed in. The gameplay is pretty fast and pretty fluid, I would say. So every time that yellow circle comes up on the enemies, that means they're parryable. I'm not really a parry type of guy personally. I just like auto attack spamming and dashing wherever I can. But you can see I can just dash, dodge, duck, dip, and dive through all the enemies. I have here's the first level up. Let's get to this first. So the upgrades are pretty cool, I would say, but a lot of them seem a bit undertuned. Again, this is just a demo. This stuff could very well be modified in the future. But there are some pretty cool stuff. Like this is an active ability, we'll call it. It's not really an active ability, but it modifies my active ability. So when I dash through enemies, I do damage to them based on how many enemies I dash through. Whereas this is just, straight up damage. It's 1 to 10 damage, but I reduce my max health by 20, so a bit of a double-edged sword. And then this one is a straight up just static increase, but it scales whenever I level up. 0.5% attack speed. But 0.5% attack speed, like that's kind of low, right? I'll talk more about the upgrades and whatnot as we get further into the run. But as for the combat, going back to that, very smooth, very satisfying, I would say. And you level up quite a bit, by the way. You're going to be seeing these pop up quite often. Those barrels right there drop healing orbs, by the way, or healing rations, I should say. I think it's only apples, actually. I haven't seen anything else pop out. So far, I've unlocked like 3 different rations that I can craft, and I've only ever seen the apples pop out of the barrels. So I do not know. So right here I have a special ability. For me it's on Q. I think that's the default actually. I don't think I changed that. So I can just dash through the enemies there. And as I said, there's only one special ability as far as I know in the demo. Hopefully there are going to be a bunch more in the release version of the game. So my first quest here is simply to cull the horde, just kill all the enemies that I see. Like look, we've been playing for what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I've already leveled up 4 times. I guess it's my 3rd level up. The progression is pretty dang quick. But there will be other mission variety as well, as you're about to find out. So we completed our first quest. And the goal of the run, by the way, is to just kill everything that you see and then complete the quests. And then after you complete a certain number of quests, you can choose to leave early or continue. And then after the 3rd continue, you can choose to fight the final boss of that run. And then once you kill the boss, or if you die, obviously, your run is over and you reset. It's not like Vampire Survivors or Survivors-like games where you have like a timer that ticks down, right? A 30-minute timer that ticks down. You can just basically spam a run and then get out of there. All right, here, I think I'll just go with elemental damage because we are trying to get as much fire damage as possible. So let's take fire damage or elemental damage per level. So our next quest here is destroy the nest. I'm going to charge it up. Bam! Bam! Just 2-shot that guy. Get wrecked, buddy. Get wrecked, buddy. Can I go this way? Yes, I can. But again, the combat is very smooth, very satisfying. Easily the best part of the game. In terms of performance, I've not had any hiccups whatsoever, actually. I don't even think I've encountered really any straight-up bugs at all. Which is pretty good, honestly. I'd much rather have a demo be technically proficient rather than, have a bunch of flashy content and stuff to show off. If the game runs well and it's fun to play, that's the most important thing in a demo, right? All the content and stuff, that can easily come later. The foundation of the gameplay is far more important to me, which the foundation, again, is here. You kill monsters. It's pretty simple. Hack and slash. So here I could, start parrying these guys, and I think you do like a small AoE attack when you parry successfully. I'm not quite sure, but honestly, it's still, you know, very early on, obviously. So the balance is a bit off, I would say. So far, I've found no reason to stop just spamming my auto attack and dashing around. No real reason to change up the gameplay loop. But there are different builds. You can do like a dash-centric build or a jump attack-centric build, stuff like that. So here's a chest that requires keys to open. Sometimes when you complete certain quests, they'll drop keys as a reward. And if you don't die, if you successfully kill the boss and move on to your next run, you will keep all of your currency items, all of them, including the keys. So you can carry over keys from run to run. But if you die, you lose them. Same with your rations. If you successfully make it out of a run, let's call it an extract, you can take your keys and your rations out. So I have some excess keys. I think I have like 4 or 5 of them or something like that. Haven't received any in this run in particular, though. There's also a heavy attack. I haven't really found a reason. So actually, maybe I should. 24.8 and I heavy attack and I do 50 pretty much. So it's about double damage for a heavy attack. Also something interesting here. So you see here, this is the 2nd rank of Insight. If I take this, so it would be nice to display the first level here. I know it's 1%. If I hover over here, maybe it tells me, what's the icon? Oh, it's down here. That's why I can't see it. Nope, that's not the right one. Hello? I can't scroll. There we go. Okay, cool. So you can see that it increases the damage by 1% for the first level, and then here it's by 2%. Now, if I take this, you would expect the current bonus of 5% to go to 10%, right? But if I take this, and I open it back up, and we look at this, it is still 5%. So I personally don't like this idea of making the rewards that scale based on your levels only apply to new levels, because not even the bonus that I just picked was applied to my character. It's the next level. So you literally get nothing the first time you pick these bonuses that increase with your character level, if that makes sense. So remember, I took this and it gave me 1% damage per level. The bonus is 5%. And then when you took the next level of the perk, it gives you 2% damage. You would expect that 5 to go to 10, right? It just all the bonus you've already... No, it doesn't work like that. You have to totally level up again. So it's kind of odd to have a roguelike game, especially, because the whole point of this game is to, you know, number one, have fun killing a bunch of hordes of monsters and stuff. But number two, let's be real, the only reason people are going to play this is if the content inside of each run is interesting and varied, right? Therefore, you should make sure that the upgrades that are in the run are very exciting, number one, and pretty powerful, number two, right? Because both of those lead to interesting combinations and whatnot. So having a like 0.5% attack speed per level, and it doesn't even scale, you know, until you get the next level, that's just kind of flaccid, if you will. You can excuse my language there, but not very exciting. It could be a whole lot more exciting is what I'm saying. All right, so physical damage here is pretty good. All your attacks deal physical damage off the bat. Although Holy Light is pretty good too. So there's a dash, which you can see right here. It's a little bit longer range, like that. Oh, and I didn't have it recovered. So that little green circle, if I can move my mouse, can I shoot? It's like right here. That little green circle is my dash cooldown. But if I press the shift key, I think I rebound that. I don't know what the default is. Actually, I think the default is shift, excuse me. That is a sidestep. It's basically like a mini dash, and then you have other mechanics that are tied to it as well, such as the sidestep staggers enemies that I just took from the level up. I'm also getting a bit swarmed here. You need to pay attention. Our quest is just killing the hordes, though. All right, we'll do Force Smite again. So this essentially gives me, 65% more damage first time I hit a target, which I'm doing a hammer build, so I'm hitting very hard, which makes sense. I just want to one-shot everything as much as possible. Oh, we got a key from that quest. Perfect. We will also just keep going for flat damage there. That one just give me a, 5 fire damage per attack. Bada bing, bada boom.
Took so long.
No.
You also, this is your checkpoint, by the way, when it turns white. I didn't explain it the first time. My apologies. So that tree icon there is if you want to exit your run, you can. You'll take all the feathers out, all the keys out, all the rations out, and you'll successfully extract. Or you can go over here to the question mark, whatever the quest may be. We got Cull the Horde again. I have played like 2 hours of this demo so far. I have not seen the same quest 3 times in a row. That is definitely not supposed to happen, or it's pretty rare for that to happen. Most of the time, it's going to be a completely different quest. But the quests aren't like super exciting, right? They're not like totally, oh my gosh, that quest was amazing. No, it's just like, there's an escort quest. There's a donkey and needs to extract. You can escort him. There's like a hunt down the targets on the minimap quest. It's nothing special, but let's be real. Like, all we're doing here is we're killing monsters and we're leveling up. That's what I want. Which brings me back to, again, what the upgrades. Like, yes, it is a demo. However, like we're going to need quite a few more upgrades, and they're going to need to be pretty dang interesting. I think at the bare minimum, again, the upgrades that scale with your level should also retroactively apply once you get a rank up in them, essentially. I think that would be a no-brainer change to make it a little more exciting. Obviously, some balance would have to happen to compensate for that, because the game as it stands, you know, is not set up for that. So I'm gonna take Holy Blade there. That's just even more flat damage on my attacks. Reduces my max health by a little bit. So the fire damage is just 5 flats, whereas the holy damage is 1 to 10, and it reduces my max health by 20. So it has that variable damage, and it has the double-edged sword effect. So pretty interesting. Don't know how good it is, but like I said, I'm just spamming my auto attack, so anything that scales with that, that's what I want. All right, so here's a quest that I don't think I've done before. I think we're just standing in the circle. Classic. You know what? I play Risk of Rain. I love me some stand in circle stuff. Also, this is my second time recording this because the first time the audio was way too loud in the game. I don't normally play on my speakers when I'm recording content, so I thought it was okay. I have my speakers turned way down though. So I started editing it, put it in the software. I was like, oh man, you cannot hear me. I mean, you could, but it'd be very annoying. I figured for quality of life purposes, for your viewing experience, go ahead and re-record, get another run in. And it's a fun game too. Like, I don't mind playing another run. So it says I have to protect this. I'm out of healing orbs, by the way, or healing apples. We play a little safer here. So we need to go around and find some of those barrels on the map. They will give us more healing currency. And I wouldn't say the game is particularly difficult. It's more so just the health economy, the way it works. Also, I'm a very aggressive player. If you guys watch my content regularly, you know that. This is your first time watching it. I'm a very aggressive player. Even in games where I'm supposed to like parry and, you know, play super safe and all this stuff, like I just want to kill stuff. I almost died right there. Okay, we need to get a heal. So here we go. So when you're low health, it'll mark the closest barrel on the minimap for you. I am still taking damage somehow. I'm poisoned. Are we gonna live? Oh shoot, we're gonna live? I am still poisoned, by the way. Why am I taking 2 damage over time? Oh, you know what? Because I forgot to stay in here. Shoot, that's probably what it is. Oh, we got it. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what it was. Turns out that quest damages you over time if you're not in the zone.
That's interesting.
The more you know. Almost died there. All right, so when this is in the pause state, we'll call it, you can also go find your healing orbs. I think I already came up here, didn't I? Yeah. Should be one over here. Hello? Hello, looking for a healing orb. Got a feather right there. That's the perma-currency. Healing orb, here we go. Boom. I don't know why I'm calling a healing orb. Hey, what are you? Exchange items with other survivors. How do I do that?
Ooh, this looks good.
Sure, let's do it.
Shall we exchange?
I haven't seen this before. You exchange your fire damage, you get holy damage. No. No, it needs to be more exciting than that. I guess there's some, like, build theory crafting you can do with this. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to take the damage increase one at the start, and then I can swap it to damage resist later on once the run gets a little more difficult. But, nah, I think this needs to be modified in some capacity. You're literally just swapping out the... Or maybe this one needs to be, like, way more powerful. If anything, why not just change this vendor into a buff? A buff vendor, right? You can either, like, trade your buff away for a random one that's not in the same pool that you get from the crafting menu, or you can just have her buff your existing one, which is what I would take, no brainer. But this is kind of lame, honestly. Just literally exchanging out
Thank you.
the same exact upgrade.
Now
And please
you
understand, I mean this
definitely
as constructively as possible, right? I'm simply trying to provide constructive criticism here. I don't think that's a good idea to have a vendor just literally swap out at random. There's a reason why I chose the one that I chose, right? I don't want to swap off of it. Pretty much that simple. Bam. All right, I have 2 apples. I can kind of be a little more aggressive here. Oh, we're killing the Guardian, by the way. This is the boss fight. We are at the final stage of the run. Where you at, buddy? So for our last one here, I don't want any of these, so let's reroll. Force pull. Instead of dying, you gain... So I already took this one time. This is an extra life. So when I die, I get a 30% damage increase, and my HP goes down to 20. So essentially, you have like 1 more hit, maybe 2 at most, once you die. But importantly, it's an extra life, and definitely going to take that when I'm fighting the final boss. This charge just... Whoa! He just leaped on top of me. Watch out. As I said, the game is not particularly difficult right now. I got a stagger on him. Let's go. I think the dodges and the parry, well, I don't think you can parry this guy, by the way, because he's red. The other guys were orange circles. But the dodges and the sidesteps and the parries, they are very plentiful. They come off a cooldown extremely quickly. So maybe the bosses need different move sets, because the trash mobs, you can definitely get overwhelmed by trash mobs and take some damage. As you saw earlier, right, I ran out of healing entirely, and then I had to play kind of safe, go look for the extra healing on the map. So that's fine. But the bosses here, every time I fought this guy, like, he's a complete joke. You can just easily dash out of everything. Easily. All right, so we leveled up right here. We're about to end the run. Omega lol. And he's dead. Goodbye, sir. One thing I do like is when you kill the boss, all the enemies just dissipate. So you're not going to run into a situation where you kill the boss and then you like die to, you know, one last attack or something. Oh, you know, on the edge of your seat, you're like, yes, I'm about to do it. Yeah, I did it. And then you die. You're like, no. So I like it how I definitely played some games very recently that do not do that. So it's nice to get that invulnerability essentially when you're done. All right, cool. And that is the run. That's the gameplay loop. You go in, you kill monsters, complete quests. There are 2 different maps as of now. Remember, this is just a demo. This is not even early access. This is a straight up demo version. So obviously there's going to be way more content, way more things to do. Overall thoughts, again, the combat is extremely smooth, very satisfying. The dashing and the dodging and the ducking, the dipping, the diving, all that stuff is very satisfying to do. I would like some more active skills. There's only literally 1 active skill right now, but I think skill sets should be tied to your weapon in some capacity. I don't really see any reason to pick the sword over the hammer. They both play extremely similar. The hammer is slower and hits harder. The sword is faster and hits, that's the only difference. Hammer slower, sword faster, you know, less damage, more damage essentially. There definitely should be some kind of skill set tied to the weapon that you're using. There's definitely some room for that because the whole point of playing a game like this is for, I guess, like the meta progression, like going to this guy and getting like your 5% health increase and all that stuff. But for most people, if this kind of progression appeals to you, you're just going to be playing an RPG of some kind, right? You're going to be playing something that has permanent gear progression and whatnot. This is not the exciting part. The exciting part is inside of each run, the roguelike elements. So the upgrades inside of the run are pretty good, I would say. You definitely see some repeats very quickly. Again, it's a demo, so I'm not going to, rank the amount of content. But the upgrades that are there, like, for example, again, those level up, those stat bonuses that apply to you when you level up, they should definitely scale retroactively. So when you go from a 1% to a 2% increase, it should essentially double all the bonuses that you had before. I think that would be, much more satisfying. And I think there's some wiggle room to make some different. For example, the fire damage, flat fire damage to your weapon is 5, 10, 15 at rank 1, 2, and 3. The holy damage is, I think it was 1 to 10, 1 to 15, 1 to 20. But you lost 20 max health every single time. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is that there are ways to make things a little more interesting rather than just, those straight up static increases. But I am looking forward to this game for sure. Again, you can wishlist it in the pinned comment and in the video description below. Check out the demo, see if you like it. I think it has a very good set of bones here. The core gameplay loop is very satisfying, and there's a lot of room to make some cool upgrades and whatnot. Thank you guys for watching. Greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.